Hey guys, I'm Sydney. I'm an esthetician in Orlando, Florida, and I wanted to share with you guys some basics when it comes to waxing. I wanted to share with you guys if you've never been waxed or you're thinking about it but you're not sure what to expect. I want to let you guys know what to expect, post-care, different types of wax, all sorts of things. So the first bit of information I'm going to share with you guys are the three different types of wax. There's hard wax, soft wax, and sugaring. Soft wax is typically used more on the face. That's where they have the strip. It's applied very thin. Hard wax is usually used on, like underarms, arms, legs, Brazilians, like bigger areas of your body. And sugaring is a newer thing that pretty recently just came out, and it's sort of like, I would compare it, it's more like a hard wax. And it's really natural, so that's kind of the up-and-coming thing right now, is using the sugaring. I wanted to start with some kind of frequently asked questions because I feel like most people kind of have similar questions. Sorry, my paper is down there, like the questions. I know one big concern is that your hair is going to grow back darker and thicker. I will promise you that that is not the case. When you're waxing the hair, you're removing it from the hair follicle. You're removing the entire hair all the way down to the root. It's not going to change the structure of your hair follicle and have it start forming different types of hair. In fact, it actually does the opposite of making it thicker. It makes your hair thinner because after a while it starts to sort of break down the hair follicles, and the hair will eventually sort of thin out, or it will just kind of stop growing altogether. One thing also is that if you go get waxed for the first time, don't expect for all of your hair to be removed the first time. You can only go, estheticians, you're only allowed to go over the area of skin with the wax so many times, but trust your esthetician that if she doesn't get all of the hair, and this is your first time or second time getting waxed, that is because your hair grows in phases. So when you get waxed, it removes a particular, phase, and then the smaller hairs, like the younger hairs, start to grow, and it's difficult to get all of it the first time. So it might take a couple times of you going and getting the same area waxed for you to finally be able to remove all of the hair, because by then all of the hair will be growing at about the same rate. I know a huge thing that people are worried about is pain. So I'm gonna let you guys know, when I was in school, we had to grow out all of our body hair for a month and wax all of our body hair. And a lot of it was, for practice, so we can practice how to use the different types of wax and stuff. I would say least painful and most painful. I'll just go with those. The least painful is probably your eyebrows. I mean, I have a pretty average pain tolerance. I have tattoos and piercings and stuff, but the eyebrows aren't bad. Don't be scared of pain if you're going to get your eyebrows waxed. Definitely, don't worry about that. Of course, kind of the most sensitive one would be Brazilians. That's very sensitive. So I definitely would not recommend a Brazilian if you've never been waxed. The one type of wax, like the one place that I love getting waxed the most that I would recommend to you would be the underarms. The pain is moderate. It doesn't feel good, but it's very temporary. And if your esthetician does it well and she does it correctly and she does it quickly, it won't hurt for more than a couple seconds, then it'll go away. And that is I feel like my underarms are the most satisfying one because, you don't want to have to shave every day and stuff. So that would be what I would recommend you start with. That's like the most beneficial. I think that that's the most rewarding one personally, but you have to go and kind of see what you like the best. And I know one thing is a lot of people wonder, like, how come I can't just go on Amazon and order a pot, like a wax pot, and some, wax beads and wax myself? You can do that physically, but there's a lot of things that we learn in school, ways to prevent bruising, ways to prevent ingrowns, the direction that you wax so you don't, tear your follicle. There's kind of a lot of things that we do very specifically to make sure that you don't get harmed in any way and that your skin doesn't get harmed in any way. Go to somebody who knows what they're doing. They do this all the time. They're confident in what they're doing, and most importantly, you're comfortable with them. You have to be comfortable with your esthetician. You have to be comfortable with them waxing you. You have to trust them. So just, try to find somebody on Instagram or look on Yelp and look at pictures of people's, eyebrows or, underarms or whatever, that they've been waxed. So that you know that who you're going to is reliable and they're a good esthetician to go to for that. And then the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about would be post-care. I feel like most people that say they don't like waxing, they did it once and then they didn't like it afterwards, and that was because the esthetician might not have explained to them properly and thoroughly the post-care of waxing, or the client just simply didn't, you know, they heard it, yeah, and then they went home and didn't do it. So there's kind of three main things when you're getting waxed. It varies a little bit on the type of wax, but more or less it's all somewhat similar. One would be avoiding friction. For example, if you get, you know, a Brazilian, or, you know, your legs waxed, you know, try not to wear leggings that day. You know what I mean? Like, or jeans, something that's really gonna chafe the skin. You're gonna, you know, you can get like a rash or irritation and stuff, and, you know, you don't want to deal with that. You know, that doesn't mean you have to walk around in sweatpants, but, you know, just be mindful. You know your body, and if it feels like your legs are too constricted, or wherever you got waxed is too constricted, you know, it can, you know, cause a rash, and it's temporary, it'll go away, but of course it makes the experience a lot less pleasant, and you can't really, you know, enjoy what you got waxed. Another one would be to exfoliate. I feel like this is the number one thing that people mess up, is, you know, they say that they got waxed and then they have ingrown hairs. About 24 hours after, between 24 and 48 hours after you get waxed is a good time to exfoliate. Not directly afterwards, but about 24, 48 hours afterwards, you want to go in the shower and exfoliate your skin really well. Make sure that you remove, you know, all of the dead skin and extra oils and dirt that's on top, so that when your follicles close back up after they've been waxed, your follicles are open, you're more prone to breakouts and stuff, hence why you want to avoid friction. But once your follicles close up, you don't want them to have anything stuck inside of them, for example, a hair, ingrown hair. So just be sure to exfoliate, and also avoid the sun for about the same amount of time. Try to avoid the sun 24, 48 hours, give or take. You know, don't get your, you know, something on your face waxed and then go lay out in the sun, you know. Let's say you're going on vacation or something like that, you know, like I'm going to, you know, a beach house and I'm going to stay there for a couple weeks, but, you know, I leave in 5 days. Awesome, sweet, come in, get waxed, you'll be good, exfoliate, and then you can enjoy your wax on your trip without needing to worry about any kind of damage that's going to happen to your skin. So that's kind of just the very simple surface level rundown of things to know before you get waxed. Definitely don't feel nervous to get waxed. But yeah, I'm telling you, look at pictures, word of mouth. If you have someone who gets their eyebrows waxed and they look good, ask them where they got them waxed, you know. Figure out what esthetician is listening to you the best. At the end of the day, that's what we want. You know, if we're waxing your eyebrows, for example, you have to communicate to us what you want, but we also have to be able to deliver on what that is. You just need to find an esthetician that communicates with you really well, and you also need to be able to be comfortable communicating with your esthetician so that, you know, we can make sure that you get all taken care of and that your skin is happy and healthy, because that's, you know, of course, the number one goal for us. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that that sort of eases your mind a little bit about getting a wax. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions though, feel free to, you know, ask me in the comments, message, you know, reach out to me on Instagram, whatever it might be, and I'll be more than happy to answer any question that you have. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.